Hey, this is the front brakes on my 98 Grand Cherokee 4-wheel drive Laredo. I've already removed the caliper, as you can see up here. You loosen these bolts and pry it off, and I got it secured up here so I don't have it hanging on my brake lines. And the rotor procedure to take it off is there's nothing holding it on right now. It should just pop right off, and this one is popping off, as you can see. Came off real nice. One of the problems I was having is this right here. I was having a lot of chattering with my brakes, and if you look, you can see how on the inside here it's all worn. So that means I need a new rotor. Alright, okay, we're going to check the other side now. We're over here on the other side, and I'm going to attempt to get you a good picture going here of what I'm doing. I guess that's how I'm going to have to go. But let me see, I got to find a way to prop my camera up here. So I guess the first way I'll do it is try it thusly. Let's see, I get a good look on there. Now I've tried it with a rubber mallet, and again, like I said, look at the inside of this brake, how this rotor has chewed it up. See that? That's bad news right there. I didn't think I had done these brakes so long ago, but what it says is hit it with a hammer, and lo and behold, that wasn't too bad at all. Look at the back of this rotor. There's hardly any surface left. That's what the brake rotors look like after about almost 200,000, if you can see that. Alright, I'll be going to the store, picking myself up some rotors, and coming on back, and I'll get back to the video and show you how to put them back on. Alright, have a good day. Okay, now what we're doing here is we've taken off the rotor and the caliper, and we've put everything aside, and we've supported the caliper so it's not hanging on the brake lines. Now what I got to do is I've bought a new rotor and a set of pads. What I'm going to do is show you how to put them on. Well, first thing you do, pull your rotor out, and you place it on there. Looks pretty good. Looks a lot better than that thing I tore off before. Then, what you do is you reach in here and you snap the little wire there, cable tie that I had. You can put that up there, pull your brake pad off like that. This one wasn't worn out quite as bad as the other side, but you can see it wasn't very good. And if you're going to work on these, you might as well replace them with the new. Okay, and you take this one here, and you got to bend it around a little bit. Torque it with the screwdriver, torque it with something to loosen her up. You can, like I just did there. Now, I got two brand new ones, and what I have to do is I have to move this back so it's flush back there, so that I can get my brake pad to sit flush. And the thickness of the new rotor and the new pads will not let you do it how it sits now. And you just take this and you slowly turn it in until it gets flush. What I do is I crack the top of the master cylinder lid, and that gives me a little bit of room to push this fluid in. Some people crack the bleeder, but I always get brake fluid all over the place when I do it that way, so I do it this way. And it's in there nice and tight. You don't want to force anything, but you want it in there nice and firm. Okay, you get it in there firm, you can feel it, and it's going to stay right there. You pull it all out. And right now is when you would, if you're so inclined, you can put a little disc brake quiet on there. I've never done it, and I've never had any problem with brake squeal or anything like that, so this is how I do it. You take your brake pad, you flick it back, and you stick it right in there like so. And you take your other brand new brake pad, come over to this side, you line it up, you pull it out, and you slide that back in there. There's two little clips on the back of these pads that sit in these little holes right here. And you will make sure you get those clips in there, because that's what holds the brake static and stops everything nice and tight. Alright, now you reach in here, you put your little bolt covers back so that they don't catch on anything. You come down here, you set the bottom in there. Voila! You push that right in there. Like I said before, I like to start everything with my fingers at first, just to make sure it's going nice. And then I'll grab the wrench. Got a little 1/2-inch wrench here that, whoops, got a little ratcheting mechanism in here. It makes it pretty nice to work with things. I think these are the best things since like spread and drywall screws myself. But you just run it in there till it's all snug. And you get this one down here. Remember, you're feeling for it to make sure it's not cross-threading or anything weird like that, because we just wouldn't want that to happen. And turn these two bolts in. Get them snug. Okay, push everything around, make sure it feels like that's where it's supposed to be. And I like to take it one elbow click past where it's nice and snug. I've been doing this my whole life, and that's about what it gets to be through my experiences trying to do it with torque wrenches and things like that. But not saying torque wrench isn't a bad thing to use or have. Okay? Now, there you go. She's sitting on there. Brake's nice and tight. Push everything out of the way. Make sure all your tools are picked up and put in a box. That's how I like to do it. Get everything where it's nice and easy to put away. And you reach behind you and you grab your lug nuts. Now, let me see. When you come over here, you grab your tire. I always put my lug nuts in my left hand, and I look for the bolts, and just like I did that. Sometimes it gives me a little harder time than that, but I've been doing this for a while. So, just put them on there, get them started. Make sure they're on there real good, because you don't want anything cross-threaded. Cross threads don't do anything but break studs, cost you money, and just generally delay your job. I really extend your afternoon cross-threading one of these and busting off a nut or something, or a stud. Okay, grab your impact. I like to start at the bottom. Run them on, just run them up, tighten them down. And I use like a start pattern. That's what you use. Now, I'll start with this one, then I'll go to this one, then this one, over to here, over to here. If you can see, it's sort of like a star pattern, you know? Boom, 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 boom. And back to this one. And what I'll do is I'll just wait for my compressor to cycle. I'm using my small one today, because I feel like getting all this into the garage, and I got too many projects in there. So I'm just waiting for my compressor to cycle, like I said, so I can be up to maximum torque. And then I'll just torque these down again in the start pattern. And when I'm all done, I usually put a torque wrench on it and torque it down, so that if somebody besides myself happens to get in the car, they'll be able to get a flat or something along those lines. They'll be able to get the lug nuts off. And there you have it. Okay, we got her in here. And what you do is you reach around and you get your old 1/2-inch wrench. And you put it on here. Oh, that's untightened, and you just spin her on in there. I got a little ratcheting device in this wrench and it works pretty nice. You just put it in there until the one snugs up. Well, you don't even have to snug it up. You just got to make sure it's getting in there. Then you run down the bottom here and make sure this one's getting in. Main thing is you don't want to cross thread it. Got to make sure it's going in there real nice. I like to put it in a little ways by hand and then start with the wrench. And push them around like that. And just tighten her up. Tighten that one up. Tighten this one here up. Got them nice and snug. I like to give them a little bit of, I give them about 15 pounds of wrist pound there. Might want to use a torque wrench on here, but that's usually what I've done. Right there. Now make sure it's nice and tight. Everything's on here good. Make sure my tools are ready for the other side. Come over here. Grab my tire and my lug nuts. And here we go. Look in there until I see one of them suckers. And I put them on just like that. Put the top one here on. Finger tight. Push the bottom on. Again, finger tight. Get them all started real nice. Okay. Now it's time for a little bit of muscle here. Put them in. I like to do them in a start, starting at the bottom. Okay. I have a small compressor, so I'm just waiting for this particular compressor to catch up in cycle so I can get the proper torque. When I'm all done, I go through with a torque wrench and make sure they're just perfect so I can get them off, or if my son happens to be driving, he'll be able to get the lug nuts off too. And you don't want them on here too tight, or when you go in the star pattern. And there you go. That's how you take off the rotors, put them back on, and replace your brake pads. And put your tire back on. And there you go. Hope that helps you out. Saves you a little bit of money.